Welcome to the second ever episode of the Stanz Show. The first one went well. I loved it. We put the first one on my own personal YouTube. The viewership was great. Everyone was excited. People said, thank God we have another podcast. Esportsmanlike conduct died so that this podcast could live. So what I'm going to do is at least weekly make another episode. And I'm also going to put them on a new YouTube channel. So hopefully I'll be able to put a link here or like in the comments or some shit, because they're not going to live on my channel. I'm going to do highlights on my channel and the full episode on an original channel, thestanzshow.onlyfans.com or something. So there's been some big news this week. Everyone has been asking me every stream to talk about the Stanz situation. Now the Stanz situation stems from the Sinatraa situation, which we are going to kind of gloss over here because I think it's a little tough to cover. I think that we want to add the kind of nuance that we do. So let's just say that Sinatraa has been accused, and there is very credible evidence of sexual assault against his girlfriend. He has been benched from Sentinels. Riot has benched him from Masters while they complete an investigation. That leaves Sens 1 day to find a replacement for Masters when Sentinels are looking like maybe the best team in North America. What they did is they went out and they dropped the bag on Stanz. If you don't know, Stanz is a player. He was the first Valorant player for Cloud9. He's a former CSGO player, came up through MDL, joined Cloud9 with a couple of Legends and Daps and Automatic, didn't quite work out, and was the first big star in North American Valorant alongside Brax. He was extremely good. I would say that Stanz is the best duelist in North America, but Cloud9 never really reached the level of success they wanted. They were kind of hovering around that top 5, maybe top 10 area, and Cloud9 said, we're spending all this money, this isn't worth it, let's make some changes. And so they benched Shinobi. They brought in some new coaches. And Stanz said, well, this is not what I like. I want to play with my friends. I'm the best player in the world. Shouldn't you guys listen to me about roster construction? And so he did what other players have done throughout history in many sports and games. He benched himself. A lot of people say, and he framed it as, I'm going to become a content creator. Hey, streaming is so much fun. I'm Stanz. I'm the best player in the world. I'm just going to go be a streamer. And Cloud9 said, okay, we're going to kind of like ride that out. We'll figure it out. Hopefully we can convince him to join. And so Stanz is sitting here riding the bench and writing out his contract. Now, everyone's saying, no, he wants to be a content creator. He loves Cloud9. I'm out here preaching the truth, saying, no, he hates Cloud9. He wants to get out of it. And the second his contract is up, he'll join another team. Well, here's the good news. He didn't even have to wait for his contract to get up. Sentinels were looking for a replacement. They had the money. They have the ability to win Masters 1 and set themselves up for an appearance in the Champions Tournament at the end of the year. And so they went to Cloud9, and they didn't buy him out. This is where it gets really confusing. They paid some amount of money to use him for Masters 1. Now, the only evidence we have on what they did, because everything is so extremely vague, is this tweet from Valorant Champions Tour NA. Competitive ruling. 1. Sentinels requested an exception to the roster lock period to add a substitute to their roster. Easy. 2. In light of the circumstances, the exception was granted. That makes sense to me. I think this is the right thing for Riot to do. I think it's the right thing for Sentinels to do. 3. Per Rule 2.3 of the Global Competition Policy, players may not play for or contract with more than one team at a time. Now, this is important because this tells us it would be impossible for Stanz to be contracted to Cloud9 while playing for Sentinels. And then 4, the piece de la resistance. To comply with this rule, Sentinels have acquired all rights to Tyson Go, Stanz. Stanz will no longer represent Cloud9. Okay, that seems simple. Sentinels have bought Stanz. Stanz is now Sen Stanz. He's going to play for the team, maybe longer. But when we start looking at some other tweets and what other people are saying, like Shazam, like Cloud9, it seems like this is more of a rental. This is more, and when I talked to some insiders in the scene, I actually did some investigative journalism for the first time in my life. I did some homework. These coaches for other teams are telling me that the rumor they're hearing from players is that there is a very convoluted set of contracts that says that Stanz will return to Cloud9. This is just a rental. I don't know how this is congruous with the Riot tweet that says he is not at all affiliated with Cloud9, and there's no world where this is just a handshake agreement that says Stanz will come back, because Stanz, again, I mentioned this earlier, does not want to play for Cloud9. So I think there's a little bit of cloak and dagger here. I think that there is a real contract. I don't think Riot is actually completely truthful when they say that Sentinels have acquired all rights to Tyson, because that would mean he stays with them for a long time. I would love to eat my shoe and Stanz is just Sentinels forever. I think they would be a nasty team. I think Sinatraa is almost assuredly not coming back, and I think that they could possibly win Masters. By the time you guys watch this on YouTube, they will have already played 100 Thieves. I would probably give Sentinels with Stanz an advantage against 100 Thieves with Ethan. Ethan's only in his second ever tournament. Why doesn't Tens want to play with Cloud9? I addressed this earlier, but they benched one of his friends, a player that he played with in CSGO, Shinobi, who was the IGL of that team, and they brought in some coaches from their Overwatch team. So if you don't know this, Cloud9 owns the London Spitfire. They brought in a Korean coach, and apparently the coach and Tens didn't vibe in the way they wanted to play, and so Tens just said, this isn't worth my time. I can stream, I can make a ton of money, I will come back once LANs are back, and we will crush the scene. And now he's on Sentinels. And here's the crazy thing. He joined Sentinels. They're playing against Luminosity, which is a team that I said was nasty with it when up in contention for top team for this Masters tournament. And he top fragged. Oh shit, oh fuck. If you're a team that's in Masters and you see Sentinels getting 10s, you think, God fucking damn it. They can't keep getting away with this. He played Jett, he played Raze, he played Reyna, and he top fragged on every single agent. He went a match high plus 10 in KD. He got 17 first kills with only 7 first deaths. And I think the thing about playing 3 different agents is he is showing off for other teams. This is not only good for Tens, who is showing that he is good on this team, but this is so good for Cloud9. I know Jack is over there licking his lips saying, if he does come back to us, which I think is the case, there's some kind of convoluted contractual obligation, we are going to sell him for so much fucking money. If he can join a team with no structured practice and look like the best player in North America, of course another team with money, maybe LG buys him out. I know Thief is really good, but this kid's the GOAT. What's another team that has huge institutional investment? You know, TSM has some money and they're doing poorly. Maybe they buy him out. 100 Thieves wants to be the best North American team. Maybe they buy him out. And it's going to go from what I would have said was a reasonable 100 to 150K buyout for like the remainder of what I assume is a year on his contract to they're probably trying to sell him for closer to $500,000 now. This is just my understanding of the situation as a former GM. I haven't been in the scene for a while, but I know that if Tens gets bought out, that number is going to be bonkers. Oh, so good for Cloud9. How does Cloud9 get into Valorant with the best player, fuck everything up, and then still make a ton of money? Chat is saying NRG. Audio listeners, chat is all spamming NRG. I do not think Tens will ever go to NRG in their current roster because he played with Daps on Cloud9 CSGO, and that did not work out. In fact, I think that there is beef between Daps and Tens, and so NRG would have to choose, do we want Tens or do we want Daps? I think the smart money would get Tens over Daps, but I think Daps has come in and he's a proven leader. It's usually harder to find IGLs than Yug Fraggers. You know, there's tons of duelists out there that are good. They just got Android. Shout out to Tens. I hope he does well today. I don't really like Sentinels, but I do like watching the underdog come in. I like that this is kind of like a slap in the face of Cloud9, who is not playing him. He gets to go to another team and just win an event. And I'm really curious to see how the business of Valorant steps up over the next few weeks. Oh man, if he goes to another team, if he goes to to Sentinels full time or another team before Masters 2, this could get crazy. And really, TSM just seems like the perfect opportunity, right? Could you imagine if they have Sub Rosa on full-time Smoker? Maybe they move off of Drone, who I believe is their best player, but they have like Tens and Wardell as the duelist line? Sheesh, that's fucking crazy. C'est la vie. Sinatra, hello Tens, it's the Sentinels era. What do you think is ultimately going to happen with Sinatra? Yeah, that's a great question. So I mentioned at the top of this podcast before we started talking about Tens that Sinatra has been benched pending investigation by Sentinels, and he has been benched from Masters pending investigation by Riot Games. I think that everyone should go and check out the Google Doc on what happened. I think it's very hard to, I'll give a trigger warning. There is some audio that is damning evidence against Sinatra, as well as screenshots of WhatsApp messages and texts to his girlfriend. I think that Sinatra will never play professional Valorant again. I think that he is done. It's tough. It's really, really tough. Thank you so much for watching episode 2. If you have any feedback, please join the Discord, !Discord if you're in the Twitch chat. If not, I'm sure you can find it somehow if you're a Spotify listener. We will be uploading this episode to a brand new YouTube channel. I will be taking a highlight of this episode, maybe the Tens drama, maybe talking about Roblox and how much I love it, onto my main channel to hopefully entice some of you to follow the secondary channel. And then we'll do another episode next week. I think my goal is to do at least one episode of The Stanz Show every week. As it grows, maybe we'll do 2, maybe we'll do 3. It's relatively easy for me to just throw up a logo and talk. I like talking to you guys. I have fun with it. So the better this does on YouTube, the more episodes I'll do. If you like it, join my Discord and share the show with your friends and tell them that there's an esports big shot, making moves out here. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching.